And welcome, you crazy people who clicked on this video, seeing the time in the corner. I don't know what the time is, but it's going to be a high time because it's one of those crazy concoctions from Beetronics that is just so out there that it's going to take a long time to explain. And it is the SeaBee. SeaBee. Everything is bee-themed. Now, this is not a cheap pedal. This is not a pedal for the faint of heart. This is a pedal for the people that like to read. Because this is the manual. 38 pages. What the fuck is wrong with you people? So, yeah, a pedal that can do a billion things on 38 pages, but only has 3 knobs to control it, which means, of course, I don't know why they do this, and which means secondary parameters and hidden things and oh my god. So, this thing is a chorus. Yes. But a chorus is achieved by delaying the original signal and moving that delay back and forth, therefore creating slight, I think that's how it works, slight pitch changes, which then to the original guitar will create a chorus, like people in a choir singing. Okay, that's technically what's happening. But if we go with the assumption that it is a delay, then we can change the delay. If we change the delay quickly enough and in predetermined speeds, we actually get pitch artifacts. You know, when on a delay you go, on an analog delay, you change the time, the pitch changes. If you're doing this very targeted, you can actually get predetermined pitches. Those are the ideas in here. Playing with what a chorus can be, and this is so much more than a chorus. Think of this as a synth engine based on a chorus idea to create things that you might not want to play maybe in the band, maybe things you might not want to even play to a sequencer unless you've got a specific kind of clock generator, but to create samples with and then build ideas and songs around it. This becomes your instrument. The instrument that you're playing is number one, the chords you're playing is number two, but then this is the extension of the instrument. This is not just a chorus. It is the only thing that can get you the sounds that you're going to make with it, and therefore it becomes part of your rig as an instrument and less of a pedal, if that makes any sense. This switch, or no, foot switch, yeah, is very important because it actually becomes part of the performance. It's a very tactile, performance-oriented instrument. Now, if we look at ins and outs, my first thing was like, wait a second, I can't see what this is. There's no label or anything. Well, because it's Beetronics and they're creating works of art. So if you get your magnifying glass out, and I'm 47, I'm old, you can actually see right there that it says mono. Input, mono output, stereo output. This is really tiny right there. This is the multi. So on this side right here, this input is for expression pedal, control voltage, or MIDI. So all the parameters are MIDI controllable if you wanted that. Of course, everything's set up in a global setup parameter. Now, I'm running it mono. I had a long chat with Philippe from Beetronics, and we talked about the stereo functionality. I have a hunch that that's more relevant in a room with 2 amps than actually in the setup that I have here. I tried it and it wasn't that apparent. So what happens is you've got the 2 outputs and you can switch it between dry, wet, which of course in a room makes a lot of sense. Chorusing, dry, wet. You're sitting in the middle and your ears are getting the chorusing happening in your head. Or a pseudo fake stereo, which is phase reversing the other output. In the room, that's crazy because you're getting phase cancellations where you're sitting. In a DAW recording setup, be careful because if it gets summed to mono, you might actually lose the signal altogether. And to me, sitting here playing it through monitor speakers, it wasn't as apparent as a child. No, as apparent, not a parent. I'm not funny. So I decided to not show you the stereo functions. Again, they're dry, wet, or pseudo stereo with phase reverse. We're going to go mono. Oh, God, where do I even start? Let's go through this. There are presets. This thing turns it on and off, as you can not read down there, but you can. It's bypass / blah, blah, blah. And this is tap / harmo control, blah, blah, blah. you'll learn, but I mean, if you need to know what things do, there it says presets, there it says tone, mix, feedback, depth, rate, ramp, dual up mat, roto depth, sting, something really tiny. I think it says modes, harmo, chorus, and this is the effect, and this says ramp. It's so beautifully done in this amazing relief. I don't even know how much they're spending to get these done. It is, in terms of user interface, rather tiny. As I mentioned on other Beetronics pedals with a lot of functionality, it's a big pedal. Why not just give it 6 knobs? I know they don't want to go there. I know they want to keep it cool and sleek and cool looking, but we would have had enough space here for a second row of knobs, and then we would have had 6 knobs and eliminated the need for secondary functions, which really adds a level of complexity in terms of programming it, which is a little bit of annoying. But they know that and they're okay with it. The little silver indents here on these silver knobs are tough to read. However, since they're secondary functions and you don't really know exactly where they're anyway, you are using your ears more than the indicator right there. So not a big problem for me once I realized that. This shows you modulation speed, and it's also related to ramp. This shows you whether we are in the secondary layer or not by holding in bypass. I kind of know what I'm doing. Not all the way yet, but a little bit. So let's go into presets. You're hitting both switches at the same time. This starts flashing, and then you go up and down through the presets. There are 4 banks of 4. It is loaded with 8 at the moment, and then there are 8 users. So what you do is you go step through it to get to the preset you want. Let's go to green 4, and then you hit both of them again, and then you selected the preset, or of course with program changes. There is 1 bank right there between green and red. If I select this, now it's taking exactly the manual setup, the live setup of the pedal that it is set to right now. So if you don't want to fiddle with presets or erase presets, that's what you do. We're going to start with playing some of the presets to get you started. Generally, rate, depth, that's your chorus controls, as on many other choruses. You have to be in chorus mode, so flip that to the right. Now we're at the bottom here, roto, depth, and sting. Let's start with roto. Those are the 3 chorus modes. The ramp is what happens when you hold this in. So right now, ramp up and down means you hold it in, it goes to the second speed and stays there. You hold it in again, it comes down to the first speed. Relatively simple. You can also use this as tap, which is why you can't click it to go to the second speed, which is why you have to hold it so that it doesn't recognize it as a tap. Now, how fast does it go to the second speed? That is determined by the ramp speed. All the way to 0, it's immediate at the second speed. And here it would, like a rotary speaker, slowly ramp up there. Okay? Now, that second ramp mode means while you're holding it, it goes up there. And when you let go, it comes back down at the ramp speed. So slowly up, slowly down, or whatever the ramp speed is. This mode is, it goes up at the ramp speed, but as soon as you let go, it bam, goes immediately back down to setting 1. You're setting up speed and depth actually for number 1. So let's say right here, you can see it's really slow. And the depth at about here. Now I'm holding in this. We're now in the yellow mode, which means the second layer. And now I'm actually in this mode determining the second speed and second, what's it called? Second depth. Come back. So when I now hold this in, am I doing this right? Let's make sure I got everything set correctly. So we got this rate right here. And the second speed is always a subdivision of the first one. So musically, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, wait, no. I did it wrong. Sorry. That's my mix. Yeah. I learned this. Second layer gives me tone. mix, and feedback. So that's not what I wanted. So I'm going to go mix middle, so it's chorus and not vibe. This is all the way dry. Feedback's going to be very important. And tone, I'm going to go all the way to the left so that it's not affecting it, because there's your normal signal. There's a high pass, band pass, you hear that? And low pass filter, which can be very, very nice, but we don't do that yet. So I'm sorry. You're double clicking. Did it wrong. You're double clicking this. And now we're on the second speed. So we're setting up the second speed really fast, second depth, and we're double clicking to go back. Now, if I hold this in, see, it ramps up and it ramps back down. Or takes quite a while to ramp up, takes quite a while to ramp down. So that is one of the main features, this ramping speed thing in the different ramps. The other thing is the harmonochorus, which is where they're using the chorus and the precise delay manipulation on an analog level with digital control to create pitches and actually create arpeggiators and really, really crazy sound. And that's that second harmo level, which we will get to. Let's start with this. We're going to play some presets so you hear what's possible, and then we're going to get in how to achieve those sounds. Oh boy. St. Vincent, Music Man, into, actually in this case, Bogner Ecstasy mini pedal for some drive later, into the SeaBee, into the Tone King Sky King. So, I'm gonna go to preset 1. Chorus, and it's a nice one. For the money they're asking for this, it better be one of the nicest choruses on the planet. Let's go to mix. Now it's more vibey. Let's see what the foot switch does. Nice, next preset. Definitely a filter going on, so that's it looks like a high pass filter. This sounds like it's now in the depth mode, where the ramp will affect the depth, the depthitude. Hammer mode. I like that the second speed is musical. It's a subdivision of the first speed. You're definitely supposed to get inspired by it. Write a riff that works with that. Don't play what you used to play with the pedal. That doesn't make sense. it's now actually changing the arpeggiator or the harmonies that it's playing. If I want to change the pattern, I do this here. Pretty fun. The cool thing you can do is you can actually ramp up the feedback so that the pedal self oscillates and use that as a pad under what you're playing. It does take a while to know exactly what to grab, and sometimes you still don't know. It is the pedal that you have to learn. So next preset. That sounds like it's a very special mode. It's the sting mode, where rate and depth aren't doing the chorusing. It's actually you're controlling the delay time from delay time 1 to delay time 2, and by hitting the thing at the knob, it moves to that second delay time. It's a very special way to do chorusing that doesn't involve an LFO, a low frequency oscillator, but you're creating that. And once the delay kind of catches up, the chorus goes away, but you have a swooshy thing going while it's doing it. It's very unique. This could be the ARP mode, but the matte mode. Matte mode is the arpeggiator mode, but with kind of random patterns that you have to find a pattern. When you like it, save it, because it never comes back. There's, loads of them. See? Loads of feedback there to create a pseudo kind of reverb. I'm just thinking, should I really even go into the expression pedal stuff? I mean, there's one right there, but still, I don't even think I can cover that. So I'm going to leave this to more skilled people than me, because with the expression, you can also control bringing in, speeds, but also bringing in the feedback and really having ridiculous control. Felipe showed me crazy stuff, but so we're going to go into manual mode right there. Going to hit it now in manual mode. We're going to start with chorus, roto on the left, set it up, ramp here. Now double click, set up a second rate, second depth, double click, and now I'm going to go to it at the rate, at the ramp rate. If you do this, it goes up and then immediately down. If you have it really, really fast, it'll go immediate. When you have this at 0, tap tempo is off because otherwise it would confuse what you're doing. You get the idea? You get the idea. If you want to reverse what it's doing, going from fast to slow, what you do is double tap, bypass. Obviously, this is a dumbass sound. I'm just trying to illustrate. So in the middle position, it'll go there as a hold. It'll come back when I let go. And even longer. So kind of what a rotary speaker does, but with a chorus, and you can control that. So moving on, because we have a lot of stuff to cover. Depth mode, I'm gonna do this. Ramp speed here. You're gonna pick a speed and a depth. Double click, much more depth, double click, and now I'm ramping to that. And again, you could go crazy. Pretty straightforward control with the 3 different ramp modes once you know what they do. And then there's a sting mode. The sting mode will do that delay time catching up thing. So we got the depth, we got the rate. So since there is no rate or depth for that, this is delay time 1. This is a multiple of it. It's a subdivision. So while it's doing it, you hear the swoosh, but then it catches up and it's gone. You can also, of course, go to it rather fast and then, go to it and then immediately back. Or faster, less ramp. You can see you can create some cool rhythmical things. If you actually put this in your playing, you can get rhythms or stuff in there that you can't get by. So that's the sting mode. We gotta move on because there's so much stuff to do. Gonna go into the Hamo mode. Gonna go all the way to the left. Dual. And that actually is 2 different settings of pitch and rate. So pitch means there are actually, on this depth dial here, different arpeggios going on. Oh wait, no, that's 2 different pitches. Pitches? Oh, this is difficult. 2 different pitches. So let's try this. I'm actually going to create the feedback. Because now I can hear what's going on without playing. that self-oscillating really helps to set up what you want to do. So let's see. Something you have to understand, apparently, because it's a pitch revolving and it's manipulating delay time to create pitch around the note that you're playing. If you're doing a third up, for example, which you can, it'll be a third up, but it'll bounce below your note and then be a 6. A fifth up will create a fourth below. Get the idea? A major 7 up will create a second below, something like this. There's a whole, these guys are fucking crazy. There's a whole thing in here which you really should read. There's also tables for arpeggiators. I think it's the arpeggiator, maybe that only applies to the this is, you have to read this. Okay, so that's what you can do with the dual. Now we're going to go to the ARP. So the ARP there's of course a ramp, but there are patterns, which are also delineated in here. I don't know if that's a word. And then arpeggiator patterns, ramping up in complexity. Let's see if I can get that feedback happening again. In this case, this fades in the arpeggiator. So different arpeggios, all created with analog delay time modulation within a chorus structure, and 12 different patterns, which are outlined here. You can read about it because you can also use your ears. Now, the same thing can be done, but with random patterns. And that is when we go to MAD, because this is what this thing is. So you go secondary mode, patterns, and now the complexity is 1, 2, 3. It gets more and more complex here. But every time you click over, it generates a new pattern. So if you like the pattern you hear, do not move the knob. Let's do the feedback thing again. There are a lot more things that this can do, and actually the sounds I'm getting are not even remotely as cool as the sound that Philippe showed me. But it takes experimenting. It's a sound design tool. This is not a click, oh great, I play Led Zeppelin. No, you create things with the SeaBee. You befriend it, you learn it, you find really cool sounds, you save them by holding things in and stuff like this. It's all in here. And then you create things that haven't been created before. Sound design. Thinking like a synth guy. Felipe loves analog synth. It shows, okay? This is the kind of stuff that the SeaBee does and that you should do with it. You shouldn't approach it like a chorus pedal. Who spends that much money on a chorus pedal? Don't be dumb. If you're into creating analog, soundscapey, synth things for, hip-hop, electronica, R&B, pop rock music, take it as a platform to create these. Make it big, Leslie. It's so beautiful. I could go on and on and on and get seriously cool sounds. Again, I haven't even plugged in the expression pedal. There's super cool stuff you can do there. I'm not at the moment capable of getting the really, really cool shit that Felipe did. Please watch Beetronics' video on it and watch some other people to get an idea. Everyone's going to get different sounds. I made it my job to show you everything that it can do. The one thing that I haven't done is actually show you the tone. So let's go back to chorus. Let's go to roto. So that's all the sound. Tone off. Here we go. That's the low pass filter. Band pass filter. High pass filter. And off. And because all this stuff is analog, it is interdependent. Things will react differently when you have certain filters on. There's so much to do. 36 whatever pages. That's freaking 38 pages. That's freaking ridiculous. So I hope it got you an idea. Please watch other videos, combine the information from me and my friends on YouTube, and then make a decision whether or not you want to even try the SeaBee. It is not the cheapest pedal, and it has a rather steep learning curve because those guys only put 3 knobs on there, and you have to look at the stupid yellow light that you activate with this to know the second layer. I don't understand why a pedal of that size only has 3 knobs. It would be so much easier to use if it had 6. Even then, the 6 would have different functions depending on the modes. So it's not just 3 knobs with 2 functions, 3 knobs with 2 functions. It's actually 3 knobs with 2 functions that change depending on the modes. It's too complicated for 3 knobs, Philippe. Please, you know, I told you I was going to bitch about that, and here I'm bitching about that. Give the pedals more knobs. I know you like it clean and pretty, but clean and pretty isn't everything. Usability is a big thing. Now, I know you're gonna like this anyway because you guys are nuts. So, whatever I say doesn't even matter. Thank you for commissioning this video, Philippe. And I'm gonna put links below to the SeaBee at Thomann Sweetwater and also animals at the end.